Today we're going to take a closer look at two certificates of deposit platforms side by side to try to understand which has the best potential going forward. These protocols are none other than HEX and REX. I'm Amber, this is Crypto Adoption, welcome to another episode. Starting with HEX. Originally named Bitcoin HEX, HEX was first released by Richard Heart on the 2nd of December 2019 as the world's first blockchain certificate of deposit. The idea behind HEX was to create a token with all the properties of Bitcoin, but with a built-in staking mechanism where users are able to delay gratification by staking their coins, minting their own rewards at a future date. In other words, locking up their coins to receive more coins in the future. After a tricky start, the protocol flourished and HEX went on to achieve an astonishing 10,000x in less than 2 years and made many millionaires along the way. The operation of HEX has been flawless with 100% uptime and has been a true trailblazer in this space. But HEX doesn't come without its drawbacks. Firstly, HEX is on the Ethereum blockchain, which means excessively high Ethereum gas fees. These excessive fees have excluded and alienated the millions of potential users around the world who would like to participate in HEX at the low dollar and cent range, but can't because the gas fees would be way more of the initial investment, rendering the whole thing pointless. Also, users have often complained of the lack of flexibility within the protocol. Once a HEX stake has been made, that's it. The only option after that is to emergency end stake, where users can cash out in an emergency. However, the penalties are huge and the gas fees are still a problem. HEX purists will argue that this is how it should be. You've entered the contract and a deal is a deal, right? However, the overall feeling suggests otherwise, hence why many additional protocols have been built around HEX to try to add more flexibility. Hedron is a good example of this, but in my view, they make what should be a straightforward and simple protocol into something way more complex with too many moving parts. Okay, let's have a look at REX. REX was originally released in July 2021. The concept was simple: unbank yourself, a better blockchain certificate of deposit with cheaper fees and more flexibility. After an issue with the code causing the prices to crash, a brand new triple audited REX was released in the summer of 2022. Firstly, the REX protocol lives on the Binance Smart Chain, where gas fees are super cheap. This is great because you can stake any amount regardless of how low. This means that REX can be a powerful DeFi tool for even the most disadvantaged people on our planet, truly banking the unbanked. When it comes to flexibility, REX is head and shoulders above HEX. For example, users are able to withdraw staking rewards early, so no more costly emergency end stakes. Split stakes, ideal for sharing. Name and rename stakes, this may sound trivial but extremely helpful for managing stakes. Transfer stake, as well as being a great onboarding tool where you can gift somebody a stake and transfer it to them, it can also be handy if your seed phrase is compromised. You can simply transfer your stake to a safe wallet. The possibilities are endless. Finally, we have DEX. This is a decentralized exchange where ready-made stakes can be bought and sold in an open and fair marketplace. If REX is successful, the exchange will encourage more buying and long-term staking, which could only be good for price. Not to mention the potential for institutional investment. This technology is truly revolutionary and the importance of this cannot be understated. Moving on. There is something else pretty important that we need to discuss. That is, of course, the HEX OA wallet. Come on guys, you couldn't have expected me not to bring it up. So what is the OA wallet? OA stands for the Origin Address Wallet, which is the original Genesis wallet for the HEX protocol. It holds around 90% of the HEX supply and is controlled by unknown entities. But I think it's fair to say that it's connected to Richard Heart. It's important to note that the OA wallet has never sold a single HEX token and there is no reason to assume that it ever would. But why have an OA wallet? Well, there are a few schools of thought. The OA wallet serves as a whale protection as no individual can own enough HEX to cause long-term damage to the price. Also, the OA could potentially intervene if it were absolutely necessary for the overall good of the token holders, almost like HEX is its own little Fed. The 90% of tokens held by the OA means that only 10% of HEX is in circulation. This, coupled with low liquidity, means that it doesn't take much effort to move the price. Is the OA a good thing? Many hexicans will say yes, as the OA wallet is there to watch over and protect the community. And after all, why would Richard Heart want to destroy his own project? However, for me, the HEX OA wallet all comes down to trust, meaning that we must trust that the OA will never dump and behave at all times. And I think in crypto, we need a trust-less environment with no requirement to trust anybody, which is the very foundation that crypto was built upon. Whilst the intentions of Richard Heart may be benevolent, unforeseen future circumstances outside of his control could potentially put the project and token holders at risk, but I'm sure everyone will have their own views. Rex, on the other hand, doesn't have an OA wallet, and all tokens are distributed fairly via the Rex auctions. So which of these protocols has the best chance of going into the next bull cycle? Hex has a proven track record and has already reached the dizzy heights of 10,000x. Can it do it again? Quite possibly. Rex, on the other hand, has no track record with far more features, strong fundamentals and a growing community. The future is very bright indeed. If you ever wished you could rewind the clocks back and buy Hex on the opening day, then look no further than Rex. This is a passive income play that you won't want to miss. Let us know what you think in the comments. For more crypto content, make sure you like, subscribe and hit that notification bell. Please remember guys, as usual, this is not financial advice. Do your own research before looking into any crypto.